Welcome to the Legion Outriders podcast, your source for the latest Legion news, opinion, and analysis. And now, the Outriders.
How's it going, Outriders? Matt, Dan, no Jeff this week, but we've brought in a magical elf to fill in his seat. Hey, how's it going, John?
I'm too hairy to be an elf.
You could be a half elf. How about
That'll
that
work,
with
yeah.
some sweet facial hair?
Half elf, half Wookiee.
Yeah, half orc, you know. We didn't say which half. But how's it going, dude?
Oh, it's good, man. It's good to be back. It's
Yeah.
been a long quarantine.
It has been. I mean, man, that's when you kind of
It was right after
step
LVO.
back and yeah, man, it doesn't seem like it's been that long, but then again, it seems like it's been forever too.
No, it feels like it's been forever, but looking back, LVO was only in, end of January? And it still feels like...
Yeah.
World's a little bit different place now, huh?
Yeah, a little bit different. A lot of strange stuff going on, but we're really glad to have you here, man. And is everything going well? What's been going on in John's life here?
Oh, man. So, for those of you guys who remember when I was back in the show before, my girlfriend was living in Italy. Well, she's living here now. So, we were in the process of buying a house here in Vegas.
Aww.
Yeah, so that's...
Sweet domestic bliss.
You know, of course, I've been going through a lot of the same things everyone else has been going through with, quarantining and doing a lot of paint projects, not as many games, unfortunately, but...
I mean, it sounds like you're at a very tumultuous time in your life right now, other than, what do I need to paint this week for Matt? Well, by the way, I've got some stuff you need to paint.
Yeah, so, I mean, we'll talk about that later with the new AAT.
Oh,
I'm excited to paint that up.
Wait, is that new? Is that still technically new? I guess it is.
I mean, new to us.
Yeah, new to us, that's for sure. But
I mean, I felt like we were right on the cusp of getting that before I left the podcast.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was like, any day now. It's coming. Yeah. It's coming. A couple pushbacks. But how you doing, Dan?
Not bad. We had a great game today. We'll talk about that a little bit.
Oh, yeah, we did have... Well, we had a game. And it was great that we got to play it.
Yes.
So technically,
yes.
It was a great game.
Yeah, so I haven't played a game since LVO, and just watching the game you guys were playing, I was like, oh, wow, there's lots of things that I don't recognize in this game right now.
Yeah, some of the features was we got to play with the AT. We played the new supply pack, so that was cool.
Yeah, and I had Iden on the table, of course.
And you actually had her on the table. Well,
for a while.
A little bit. I mean, it's okay. She'll survive the game one of these days.
One of these days.
Oh, spoilers, wait. But anyways, we did want to take a moment because there is so much kind of craziness going on in the world, and especially in the United States. So since John is here, and he is actually our official public affairs officer here, we're going to just address some stuff real quick.
So, one of the things that I think that gamers, tend to overlook sometimes is we overall, I would say, are a very homogenous community. We have a lot of straight white men that tend to show up at LVO.
I think it's 3 for 3 represented on the show right here.
Yeah. And while I've had some great games against female gamers, people of other ethnicities, people from other countries, you tend to see the same kind of people. And I think sometimes we tend to be a little bit of an echo chamber. You tend to hear some of the same things. And I think that one thing growing up in a small community, which was, fairly white Christian, you didn't have a lot of exposure to other cultures. And I think joining the military, and I'm sure you probably can echo the same sentiment, Matt, was you were exposed to a whole new experience of different cultures.
Sure.
You had people from all over the country, different nationalities, races, and sexual orientations.
My very first roommate and very good friend of mine was from Ecuador and barely spoke any English. And
really?
Yeah, we got to learn a lot from each other really quickly.
Yeah, and that's an experience that I think that I cherish, that a lot of us going in the military take advantage of. But I think sometimes people who don't necessarily get out and talk to people of other cultures, we kind of tend to be myopic about how our experiences are.
Yeah, because there are experiences,
Exactly.
Sure.
Yeah, so I think with the whole Black Lives Matter movement and the things that we were seeing with these protests, growing up, I didn't have any, fear of reprisal or any issues with police. You know, I got a lot of trouble when I was a kid. You know, nothing really serious, but you know, we would do shenanigans and get pulled over.
No.
Oh yeah, many times. But you know, that's stupid stuff that you see in like Leave It to Beaver or whatever. You know.
Oh, I see.
And
so literally shenanigans.
Yeah, shenanigans.
Okay.
You know, like.
Nothing that's going to incriminate you later.
No.
Okay.
But it was things where, you know, the police would pull us over, or the police would, you know, catch us, and they would talk to us, they'd call our parents and drive us home.
Wow.
And, you know, talking with some of my friends in the military who were African American, who grew up in a different setting, and, you know, when I tell stories like that, they would shocked. They'd say, like, if that had happened to me, if I had done those things as a kid, I would have been arrested. I would have a criminal record, you know, or worse. And I was a little bit incredulous at first when I heard that, and I kind of thought to myself, like, you know, my experience isn't true to everyone. Mm-hmm. And I think that, you know, with Black Lives Matter, whether or not it's something that you necessarily have seen in your own day-to-day life, that doesn't mean that other people haven't struggled with it. Mm-hmm. And I just think that, you know, you don't have to be out there protesting. You don't have to make a statement of your own, but just be empathetic. You know, try to understand where other people are coming from, and that's both sides of the spectrum. You know.
Yeah, that's something I really try to remember in my day-to-day life. Patton Oswalt has gone out and said this basically from his wife that passed away. One of her things, and I love to pass this on too, is, you know, life is chaos. Be kind. Mm-hmm. You know, in this case, be empathetic. Be willing to talk and listen to other people and their points of views, because it may not be the same as your own. Like, I mean, here we are sharing your stories. I was pretty straight-laced as a kid, so I didn't have much interaction other than when my Boy Scout troop went down to the police station to go, and we got warned not to look at the police dogs in the eyes, and that was the scariest thing I'd ever had to go through.
Absolutely. And it's, you know, everyone's experience changes, and talk, you know, if you get the chance, if you know, meet somebody who had a different experience growing up, talk with them, you know. Learn their story, find out how their experiences have shaped who they are as a person, and I think that's the biggest way that we can kind of grow, just as a society.
Absolutely.
You know, and I'll be honest, I've unplugged myself from Facebook.
You actually went hardcore. I've definitely pruned down my list. It's mostly, well, our own little echo chamber and, you know, family, and I try not to dwell too much on the horribleness that can really come across that stuff. But, you know, there is out there, and there's people fighting to be heard in that kind of societal change, and it is important. Yeah.
So without, you know, dwelling any further into that, I just think that as stereotypical as it might sound, love each other. You know, just try to show empathy towards one another. Try to give each other the benefit of the doubt. Talk, listen. Most importantly, listen to each other.
But anyways, thank you very much, John, and and hopefully this resonates with some of the audience out there. But we are an entertainment podcast. We're here to talk about little plastic toys and Star Wars and Bang Bang. So let's go ahead and move on. Lighten the tone up a little bit again.
Now it's my turn to listen because
you've been a little bit out of it, but that's fine. You can just be your charming self. We do have quite a bit of Star Wars news.
Yes,
Legion news.
Some Legion.
Star Wars news.
Some Legion news, but a lot of Star Wars news, actually.
Dan, let's kick it on over, bud.
Yeah, so that kind of kids game show, Jedi Temple Challenge.
Have you seen that, John?
No.
Because I think you would be absolutely into this.
I mean, you said kids game show and Jedi Temple Challenge, so I'm picturing like a Star Wars Legend of the Hidden Temple.
Pretty much
Bang,
on the nose.
yeah.
On the nose. I'm so here for this.
Yeah.
Tell me
more.
more.
No, the first 2 episodes have come out. It's available for free on Star Wars Kids YouTube. So anyone can watch it. There's no Disney Plus subscription or anything like that.
Awesome.
But yeah, it is essentially Legends of the Hidden Temple with Star Wars. And
how do they get the kids to use the Force powers? That's what I want to know. I haven't seen any yet. I'm probably going to go watch some later this afternoon.
They've got kind of 2. Well, there's 3 challenges and they whittle down from 3 teams down to 1. And they go from physical challenges to kind of trivia and lower challenges too. And yeah, I've watched 1 episode. I haven't watched a second episode.
When's the adult episode going on, and can we build a team for it?
Oh God,
that's what I'm wondering. Like, what's the age limit?
Yeah,
I'd love to try this, but I'm just looking at those obstacle challenges and I'd be like wheezing at this.
And we've got little Johnny here with us on the stage. He's 6'7" and has a beard. How old are you again?
I have a pituitary problem.
Oh, sorry. That's very insensitive.
Which is funny. Some of the physical challenges are like they had one where they were using a trampoline to jump to grab high things. I think you would just reach up and
Done.
Actually, I think
Little
this
rope
actually
lines.
might be just as fun doing a grown adult Star Wars fan challenge. Like, have this be something set up at like Star Wars Celebration.
Oh man, that'd be so great. I want to see people in like the full Mandalorian armors trying to do this stuff.
Oh, so you know, at the end of Legend of Hidden Temple, like one of the as they're going through the temple, they've got the temple guards that come out to chase them.
Okay.
Do the kids get chased by Anakin? 'Cause that would be fun.
That would be fantastic. It's Hayden Christensen. Here he comes.
we did forget to mention though it is hosted by Ahmed Best.
Oh, okay.
Who played, of course, Jar Jar in the
Yeah.
prequels.
Oh, that's
So-
good. Okay,
yeah,
cool.
So it's good that
Good
he's
for him.
back into into all this.
Well, I guess he's been directing. I actually got to see a little bit of him last year at Star Wars Celebration, but he's been staying busy. He moved past that dark part in his life, and I'm glad that he's involved in this. Sounds like it'd be perfect for him.
Nice.
So definitely check it out on the Star Wars Kids YouTube channel. Some book news. A little bit of bad news, unfortunately. The High Republic launch,
Yeah.
which was supposed to come out at Celebration this year, unfortunately got bumped back to January of 21.
And I'm reading into that there's going to be a lot of stuff that's scheduled for Celebration that's going to be bumped because we'll see, I guess.
Yeah, but one good news on the book front: the next Thrawn novel, Thrawn Ascendancy: Chaos Rising, actually had its date moved up 1 month
Hey!
to
that's
September
really
1st.
good.
So little shifting around of dates on there. And I talked about this last podcast. I was actually asking for this. I don't know if you remember, Matt. I said, "Where is the Empire Strikes Back certain point of view?"
Oh, yeah, you did?
They announced it.
Oh.
What is that?
So they did on every 40th anniversary of a movie so far. They did A New Hope. They're
Oh,
gonna be
yeah.
doing, they released a collection of 40 short stories of
Okay.
ancillary and background characters and their perspectives on the events of
Oh,
the
awesome.
movies.
The space janitor on the
Yeah.
Death Star. Now we'll have his voice heard.
So, like, yes, the gunnery officer who didn't shoot the escape pod, he has
Oh.
a story.
What are we paying by the laser blast?
Actually, his story, I did love his quite well. It's him and a data entry officer doing creative paperwork so that he wouldn't get blamed for not shooting.
Oh, really? So he's-
I know it sounds very dry on surface, but the story is actually hilarious.
that actually does sound really good. It's like, how are we going to word this so I don't get choked to death for letting the droid? I could have ended the rebellion right here.
But they had Admiral Mahdi, the admiral in the conference room who got choked by Vader. They have one of his stories is him filing an HR complaint.
Oh, no way.
Vader, release him. Yeah.
And other things like all the side rebel pilots, the ground crew.
Oh, that's
It's
good.
fun.
That's
A lot
cool.
of people in the cantina. So there's going to be a lot of great potential for fun little stories. It's not like a serious story, like you're going to get some crazy lore out of it, but it's a fun book, and I'm glad they're doing it. Let's see. A little bit of Mando news. I know most of the Mandalorian Season 2 stuff has already been said.
I
but
think we know most of the. I mean, gosh, this is going to be a huge cast again this year.
which I'm
season.
a little apprehensive on because they're either going to be, all these big names are going to show up for like a cameo,
Yeah.
or they're going to overpower the show. So are we getting too many people?
I don't know. Guess we'll find out.
Yeah.
But I think they did a great job in the first season, just giving people a few, one episode to kind of shine and then fade back out in the darkness.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did never expect to hear myself say, "Is that Bill Flippin' Burr?" It is. Where did he come from?
But the last report I heard was Pedro Pascal, of course, the Mando himself, is going to spend more time in armor in front of the camera. I don't know if many people know this, but a lot of production like that, where the character has face concealing or an armor or helmet or
Yeah.
whatever, it's not usually that actor in there. It's
Oh,
usually
they
stunt
actually
people.
talked about this in that little behind the scenes thing because there was basically 3 Mandos. There was Pedro Pascal, and then there was the guy that did like the kung fu fighting and whatnot, or Terraskasi or
Yeah,
what have you. And then they had a guy that actually did like gunslinger tricks.
Oh, so it's
and
like
they would
there's
fill in.
Gunslinger Mando and
Yeah,
Kung
yeah.
Fu Grip Mando.
Collect them all now.
But I mean, productions actually love when main characters don't have a visible face because they can literally just they pay obviously the actor less to just sit in a
Yeah.
recording booth, and if they find lines that don't work, they just go back to the recording booth and redub it. Like
Yeah.
they don't have to reshoot shots. It's production wise logistically a lot easier. So
We're not
they
having to
love that.
sync your audio to your lip movements. Yeah.
Exactly. So, but according to this report coming out, he's going to be spending more time in the armor in front of the camera. So speculation is a lot more helmetless scenes. Maybe it'll be his
Oh.
actual face.
Huh? Huh. I don't know.
I hope that they haven't delayed production too much.
No, it's been stated it's full on track, mostly
Oh.
done, ready for October, no delays.
Awesome.
Good
So
deal. I mean, they just started shooting again in California, I think, just a couple days ago. Did you hear about that?
I did, yeah. So are they shooting this in California though?
I don't know.
I
I
didn't look
think
that
it
up. I'll have
is.
to
No,
find out.
actually, I'm trying to think backward. I think it is because I'm pretty sure they're near the Lucas Ranch and all that kind of
Okay.
stuff. That they're Skywalker Ranch, because they're right there. God, man, I don't know. I'll have to go look.
All right.
I think it is, but
I'll go,
don't
I'll
hold
go
me
fact
to
check.
it. Yeah,
Continue
yeah.
as you were.
Yeah.
So just announced yesterday, or leaked yesterday.
Yeah.
EA's next Star Wars game, Star Wars Squadrons, was leaked on Xbox, and then, and then shortly tweeted after the cat was out of the bag. The developer came out and said, "Oh no, this is the next project."
I am Schrodinger's X-wing pilot right now because I'm so prepared to be excited for this, but I know I'm going to be let down.
Yeah.
But I'm not letting that damp my spirits. But yeah, it's supposed to be 8 a.m. Monday, so maybe about the time you're hearing this, they'll be doing that.
So 8 a.m. Pacific time Monday, the June 15th. They've announced that they will have a reveal trailer. And then later on in the week, June 18th, EA is doing their next conference, EA Play, of which they'll spell out all the details on it. So cautiously optimistic. I'm just hoping that they aren't copy-pasting all the flight sections of Battlefront 2.
That
into
is
its
my
own game.
biggest fear. If they just do a lift from that. Did you play Battlefront at all? I don't think you did.
I
did
played a
you,
little
John?
bit of Battlefront. The first
Did you get to the
one.
space sections?
Yeah, briefly.
Yeah. I found them infuriating, but that's somebody who spends a good portion of their streaming career playing space fighter sims. Hey, can I use my flight stick? Can I use my HOTAS? Can I do all that stuff? I am so down.
The developers have sent a couple tweets of little details. They did announce it will be on both consoles and PC.
Yeah.
So you should be able to use your flight sticks on
cautiously optimistic there.
They did announce that it will have VR support.
Oh.
So that, I don't know.
Time to bust the Rift out again?
Yeah, no, I think it was only on the consoles, like the PlayStation
Oh,
VR
okay, I gotcha.
for Battlefront 2.
Uh-huh.
Had a little VR mission.
Oh, did they? I didn't even know.
But I don't think it came to the PC.
Okay.
I have to look into that. But interesting thing, fall 2020 release, so really soon.
Yeah,
Which is
man,
considering-
I must have been working that. I bet they started kicking into high gear when Disney was about to yoink their license. Was that last year, year before?
Well,
No,
this-
the license for EA is through 2023 currently,
Okay.
So this is the first Star Wars title they've done since the
Fallen Order.
Fallen Order,
which
right?
was late 2019.
Yeah, this is a
so
couple
this is
months
actually the
back now.
quickest turnaround for a Star Wars game from EA, because Battlefront to Battlefront 2 to
Oh,
the Fallen
jeez.
Order had
I mean, they've been
multiple years
They've been
between.
sitting on the property. It's horrible.
It's a different production studio though, correct?
It's so Daniel was just telling me.
It's EA Motive is specifically doing this, and EA, of course, they part out the games to different studios for different sections of the game. Motive, the last Star Wars related thing they did was the single player campaign for Battlefront 2,
which was okay.
which was okay,
Yeah.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And one of the developers did tweet that the single player of this game, Squadrons, will be a few hours long, so temper your
It's
expectations.
mostly a multiplayer.
It's going to be
game
mostly
again, though.
multiplayer.
Yeah, and that's what's got me scared that it's going to be just like you said, a lift from the Battlefront 2 content.
So, I mean, I would love if they did a high res modern X-wing TIE fighter. I would buy a dual stick HOTAS. I would probably invest in VR, but it's probably just going to be.
We'll see. I guess more information to come, so we'll see. I guess.
Yep. And speaking of Celebration, there is a lot of rumors and rumblings they may cancel it, but as of recording, officially it's still on for August. So hopefully we'll still get Celebration and all the announcements for that, but I'm guessing worst case if they do cancel it, it'll go
I'm
digital.
hoping this will be, if they don't cancel it, that I'll be able to spin this into an excuse like, Holly, my wife, I need to have a full mask so we don't get the Rona or spread it. So I need to have the full Stormtrooper armor, for safety.
Yeah, I feel like if any group is going to
Yeah.
abide by the mask recommendations, it's Star Wars cosplayers.
Yeah. See, it's for your safety and my own. So I need to have this stormtrooper armor now.
So, and the fact that you're going to wear it probably every other day of your existence.
I mean, it's practical as well as comfortable and very protective. So it's I mean, no more grease splatter from the stove.
But
the wash is so easy.
on the we'll finally get into some related Legion news. Fortunately, Nova in East Coast was canceled, which makes sense. I mean, given the current state of everything going on right now.
LJ has been putting out for LVO for next year, though.
So currently, LVO 2021 dates, we got them officially announced January 29th to 31st. So anyone coming out here to Vegas, definitely swing by, say hi, hug.
Is there a chance that LVO may have been the last gaming convention,
Yeah,
and then we'll be the next one?
I don't know how you managed to do that, LJ, but masterfully done. That's some Game of Thrones stuff,
Right, yeah.
The earlier seasons.
No, we're excited for it, and we're excited to see everyone come out.
Nice. Anything else to wrap up on that?
Well, The Mandalorian was actually filmed in El Segundo, California. So
there you go.
There
It was
in
California. Okay, El Segundo. That's nice. But anyways, so we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we've actually got a little bit of a product review for 6 Plus Industries and our good friend Keegan. We're going to talk about our game and catch up on the Patreon stuff. Anything else I missed there? I think that's most of it.
That's it.
Yeah. Okay. We'll be right back, guys.
You are receiving the Legion Outriders podcast. Ending the transmission now would be most unfortunate. And now, the Outriders.
Welcome back, Outriders. Dan, me, that's Matt, and John. Here we are, back. He's back again. So, yay. Very excited things going on. So we got our game to talk about. I do want to talk about we got a product review. It's been a little bit while since we've done this. Honestly, it was probably a couple of years. We did some terrain early on in the show, but Keegan from 6 Plus reached out. He's a good friend of ours. I mean, really hell of a guy, and I would say I would love to at least throw you a shout out. But he sent us a little product samples. The thing that they're doing is, I think the main thing they're selling is like little mine tokens, little plastic ones, and you can get them as pre-paints or as just blank ones for not a bad price, but I wanted to kind of review the quality. So he sent us a couple of different sample packs of the ones of desert terrain and snow and all that, and I think it's pretty good. Definitely a lot better than those little cardboard tokens, not getting these mixed up. And with they sell both the pre-painted and the blank ones, as I said, so you can kind of match to your terrain you're on. So they're pretty cool. I like them.
Yeah, I'm not somebody who goes out and buys the plastic versions of all the tokens for everything. Yeah. But for these, I really like them because they add a sense of realism to the game. You don't, instead of having a little cardboard piece that's supposed to represent it, you actually have a mine that's in this shape and size for gameplay. So I like them. I think it was $8, and they come pre-magnetized, which is nice if you got a little magnet tray, I guess. What else would you use the magnet for? I don't know, just popping it on there.
It's for all the magnetized trays.
All the magnetized trays, yeah, that makes sense. So it's a nice little touch for that. Yeah. Also got some little transparent silhouettes. I mean, everybody wants silhouettes now. I think there's a bunch of different places you can get them.
I'm waiting for the official FFG silhouette expansion pack.
Yeah, right.
But no, these are looks like they're resin 3D printed. And as someone who also 3D prints, these are actually very, very good quality. I believe the mine tokens were also resin 3D printed.
Is that right? I
believe
so. Yeah, they're probably. I mean, they did their little logo on the back. I just assumed that they were resin cast.
For me, like I definitely would paint them up and make them look like they would fit my particular like battlefield mat. But for somebody like you, Matt, who either outsources all of their labor or just couldn't be bothered to paint, they actually sell ones that are set to different different mat size or settings. So they got one that's like a desert with some wasteland grass tufts on there. They've got an urban setting one. Looks like they've got a snow one as well.
Yeah, yeah, and I'm sure they'll probably add some more, but I would need to make my own for like Geonosian, the dirt for my droids. And I think the coolest thing though that I really like is they have a little holograph thing with the batteries and a little electronics. So it's got like a little hologram wanted poster of, what is that, Akbar?
Yep, and it is the same dimensions as a silhouette, so it could be used as a silhouette as well.
Oh, I didn't even notice that.
That's my favorite piece, because, I mean,
Oh,
who doesn't want a hologram of Admiral Akbar on their table?
Well, yeah, not just for terrain, but it is
and it
functional.
lights up and everything. It's pretty cool. But anyways, yeah, they're pretty cool. Thanks for sending those out, Keegs. I appreciate it. Is it cool if we call you Keegs? But 6upsupply.com with the number 6 in there. But anyways, we'll probably put something in the show notes. But yeah, check them out. Friends of the show, all that kind of stuff. But anyways, one of the most important things that we used for the silhouettes today was our game, where we went mano a mano.
And we
man to droid.
finally got a hold of your tank and vital assets and Iden, and I'm just so glad that we're finally able to put hands on this.
And the great thing was John showed up before the show and he built the AAT for me while I was using the giant pie plate on the table. So let's talk about the list. Wow, that tank though. Okay, so it's a tank and then everything else. It doesn't matter. No. The AAT, I really enjoyed it, but it was Grievous. You know how I usually keep him kitted out with Force Push. Dooku. Sorry, I played Grievous last time. Dooku. Man. Force Reflexes. We had Force Push, Aggressive Tactics, and Force Reflexes. And that's
only
kind of
1/4 of the lightsabers.
Wait, what?
He only has 1/4 of the lightsabers.
Oh, of Grievous. Well, I've got my Grievous with a gun, so he's got the exact same number of Grievous, actually. So. And then I realized afterwards, so then I had like 5 B1s, 1 B2, and they were kitted out. A lot of E5Cs in there, and some HQ uplinks.
Evil rad cannon.
Yeah, and a rad cannon, that's right. And then the B2s with the 3 red attack on there, because I'm still trying to get get used to playing again, really, and the B2s in specific. And then the AAT with the 7-point upgrade pilot that lets him pass tokens like a trooper, which is fantastic. When you're taking up that much real estate and you're trying to get order chains going, it's a nice big zone of, you can do that.
Yeah, it basically adds 1 range band to it because the width of that tank is almost a range band.
It was so good. And then targeted arrays, so you always basically has a name to start with too. But but then I found out I've only got like 8 activations, and I feel like for the Separatists that may not be very much.
No, I mean, well, once you guys get snipers or a cheaper commander.
For sure. Well, cheaper commander, it's Dooku, buddy. Or Grievous, apparently. But anyways.
But I've been kind of on an Iden boss kick, both in real life.
I saw you, posted up some pictures to the Discord, or Discord and the Facebook page for that stuff.
Yeah, because they're both fun. Shoot the heck out of everything that they look at, commanders. And of course, Iden can drop to operative if you want to run double operative, because I run it alongside a generic officer.
Space Karen. Yeah.
Space Karen, yeah. She wants to speak to all the space managers.
But since this was our first time looking at the kit for the AAT, sorry, we're still talking about the AAT, by the way.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. You're old news. Iden's been out for, I don't know. What did you think about building it?
Oh, I liked it. So, I mean, I've admittedly not like the most, excited about model building.
I was actually surprised. Yeah, you like the painting. You hate the building.
Yeah, the building is usually miserable. And I was pleasantly surprised with the kit. It's a large kit. I mean, I'll be honest.
It's a big model. Like, I didn't get the scale before it was like right in front of us.
Yeah, and seeing the plate itself on the table, because you were using the plate kind of as a substitute before the model was built. So I was like, wow, I mean, that's a really big plate. And you're like, oh yeah, look at this. And then you show me the model. I'm like, I need to put that together right now. Yeah. So I built it up in the span of the time it took you guys to play the game. It fits together really nicely. Not a lot of mold lines. I've been building some GW stuff lately, and man, it's heck of a lot cheaper.
Right. Yeah.
For that much plastic.
Yeah.
You forget, and then you come back and you're like, oh, really? Because what would you think if that was a GW kit?
$100.
$100?
$100.
Yeah, that
I
sounds
mean,
about
the
right.
new Mechanicus vehicle or airplane that just came out, it's about the same size at $100.
That being said, if anybody out there is from FFG Marketing, don't take our endorsement to jack the price up on the. It's those Outriders. They did it to this. It's their fault.
No, but it was a pleasant model to build. I'm probably gonna end up painting for you, so
Yeah.
I'm excited to paint it.
I'm so excited when you come by and help record. But so the missions we did today, we wanted to do some of the new scenarios. So we kind of stacked it like, it's going to be interesting.
We basically stacked it with just only the new options.
So what did we end up playing?
We played
today?
Hemmed In, which is a very interesting deployment.
Holy
we found
cow! Yeah.
with the supply drop, which I like to call loot drop.
Yeah. Loot crates.
Loot crates. With the bomb cart payload objective. So there was a lot of stuff on the board just with those crates, the bomb carts, all your droids.
Yeah. Because I was red player on this, and I had basically division between the left and the right side, and I was like, well, droids don't want to be divided. I mean, I had HQ uplinks for those bad turns, but I was like, no, we're gonna try and murder ball this. And honestly, if it wasn't for the scenario, I think that was a pretty good plan on my part.
So the murder ball did murder.
It did. We had some hellacious dice, but basically, Daniel said very wisely, put my target point to be as far away as possible, and it was. I feel like I moved as directly as I could, and we mathed it out kind of at the end of turn 4, and it was like, I'm not going to be able to make it. And he had already gotten his cart there based on available terrain.
Yeah,
so
if you're a blue player on payload, Hemmed In is amazing because you can literally start practically in the center of the board.
Yeah.
So doesn't matter where your opponent puts that destination for the payload.
I tried to get the cart as centrist as I could, but it was still off to the side, and I just couldn't get. I mean, I would have gotten 2 points, but you had actually been able to touch, and so that's something to keep an eye out for the front is that sort of deployment with that mission objective.
One nice thing about that deployment, though, unlike Disarray, you can just put everyone in one corner. You don't have to split.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's what I ended up doing. And it worked out pretty well because, like I said, I had all the turns we played, I had one token in the bag once. Everything else was pretty much deployed out, and that was good.
You had perfect token control the entire game.
Yeah, it was fantastic. It was the best thing with the link targeting arrays and then all the droids being able to do exactly what I want them to do. And then Dooku getting into mixing up. I had a lot of fun with that game. So, which was nice that you were able to win an objective because I was actually having a lot of fun taking your models off the table.
Yeah, I had 11 activations, but they were all mortars and snipers, and you were able to kill an activation.
Your dice were definitely not helping out with your saves.
I mean, the red dice did forsake me in this game. One annoying thing with the bomb carts, though, I found those things hang front and back over the notches on the base, so it was really tricky to kind of.
I didn't even know because I hadn't built mine yet, and you're like, "Oh, there's notches on there." I was like, "Oh, there is." I had to go and redo mine because I was measuring from the edge that thought I felt underneath there.
That's my only real criticism. If those maybe if they were a little taller off the base, and of course I've only blue stuffed all my stuff together.
John, you love flying bases. What do you think?
Oh gosh, so much.
A little spindly flying base to put the bomb guard up on top of so you can get the good measurements on.
It's hover platform.
Yeah.
It snaps off. You try to reattach it.
It's mobile high ground.
That's the yeah, right. But I thought it was a really fun game. It's nice. I feel like I'm still coming back and rediscovering Legion again, especially now that I'm putting more time into the droids. I know that was my goal coming out of LVO, and then everything went on lockdown, and so it's been nice. I got, I don't know, maybe 15 games in with them so far, including like 500 points and all that. So we're starting to finally figure things out. And unfortunately, getting progress on figuring out how the army moves and works and all the things to look for, and then it's like, okay, but it's gonna be 3 weeks till you get to play again or something like that. It's like I've forgotten everything already.
So as somebody who was want to shoehorn in vehicles into their list even when they weren't necessarily the most efficient, how do you feel about running these AATs, and would you run 2 of them?
I was thinking real hard about that. It would depend on what kind of commander situation we got in for the cheap commander, if and when that ever gets announced and released. I could definitely see, because I love to do pairs of like those big vehicles, like the ATSTs and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, I would definitely consider it, because man, that thing did some work. It's got that nice high thing. I mean, it proved that Bosk was not indeed cannon proof. I think that was just like little scaly feet left in the smoking crater there.
Yes.
What else do we get to shoot at? What's
Yes,
the kill count on the AAT? I want to put some stamps on the side. Can we do that, John?
Yeah, no, you definitely killed Bosk in what I would call in lizard culture is called a dick move.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah,
you just totally arsenaled him right off the
Yeah, it was funny because that was kind of the hallmark of the game. Is I was getting like the exact amount of wounds through that I need to finish things off.
You had 4 kills that were exact.
Yeah, with
amounts.
Aiden, Bosk,
A mortar,
the mortar,
and Space Becky.
And Space Becky, that's
Yes,
right.
Karen.
Yeah, we had a long bomb barrage activation from the AET. It's like, hey, Karen, catch this twice. Yeah, it was good fun. I feel like the way the board is set up, the Star Tours board, because that's usually the one that we play on, because that's yours. It might actually kind of favor, well, I mean, ATSTs as well, the tall vehicles, because you can kind of see over some of the things. You get maybe a little more line to set. I actually found that it was stuck between two, because of that big pie plate.
Yeah,
it couldn't get over 2 buildings. So it's kind of good thing I've got range 4 on this big gun here. So
No, that doesn't have repulsor, does it?
It's repulsor ground.
Oh, okay.
It's a newer thing where it acts as a ground vehicle, with the exception of terrain that specifically calls out repulsor.
I'm glad you had that in mind, because my brain did a stutter step there. And I was like, it didn't come up and I didn't think to look for it. But yeah, okay, good. That's good. But no, I like it a lot. I'm definitely going to play some more. I just got to find a way to get some more activations into my list. But otherwise, I really like the way it performed. Like I said, I had nice upgrades everywhere.
Hopefully the commando droids and the arcs and all that aren't delayed too much, because that will definitely help the Separatists and the Republic players.
I need some more droids in my lives.
Yeah, because arcs are just nasty. Arcs are just ripping up Invader League right now. It's crazy.
Okay, that's cool. Yeah. What about droids?
Now, did Cassian and K2SO, those drop already too?
Yes, alongside Iden.
Okay. I probably need to go get those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, the models are beautiful on that.
Yeah, I will say that's one thing that like FFG's definitely improved their models.
Oh,
their sculpts
yeah.
have gotten great.
They're much better, and they're still maintaining. I mean, it looks accurate to the movies, which I think is what a lot of people like, but you can always refine the details. I don't think it'll ever go quite as crazy as like GW, Marines with tassels and ribbons and stamps and everything everywhere.
Yeah, well, anybody who's seen the preview for what's in the box for the 9th edition.
Oh,
they're going a little bit over the top with it.
Are they?
It looks cool, but I mean, it's
they've got like full on candelabras on their epaulets.
I think like the Space Marine captain has a full skeleton on his shield, like actual skeleton.
Just an actual skeleton. Yeah, just strap him on. That's Shepard Book. He's our friend. He deserves a place of honor.
Is that molded into one piece, or is that a bunch of stuff you got to snip from sprues and stick on?
You got to build all 200.
Well, they've been going a lot more like mono pose. So I mean, they're intricate kits, but they're not as dynamic. It's all basically like one
push fit type stuff for those kits.
Okay, so a lot of like the Phase 2.
It's kind of funny 100%. That that's the direction that GW is going, where FFG is now going into more sprues and things like that, and options for poses. But I think that's if you get the individual like squad kits and all that, GW still has the sprues and all that.
Yeah, but I mean, it's honestly there's something to be said for both different designs.
Sure.
I do enjoy being able to pose my guys the way I want them. But GW does have some very dynamic poses. So
yeah, for sure. But anyways, you'll see that tank a lot more often, nice. Dan. You're going to have to bring the Wookiees out.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. You owe me a game.
With the silhouette rules now, the Wookiees are a lot smaller of a target. So
really? Helps so I don't get to have people shooting my Wookiee leader whose sword is above his head.
Yeah. Oh, man. Yeah, we got to make sure we get you one of those. Hey, here you go. From Six Up Supply. There it is. Straight from
Oh,
Keegan. There you go. You
nice.
can take that home. Don't lose
I'll
that.
think of Keegan every time I look at it.
Favorably, I hope. But anyways, any other... we need to play some more games with the assets.
Yeah, the one observation I had, and I was telling you about, is just the amount of plastic we have to bring now for
That's a
objectives.
good point. So I hadn't considered that when we were setting up the game. Dan was looking down at his tray and was just like, "This is a lot of plastic." Explain what we're talking about.
So in this kit alone adds 2 hostages, 6 boxes, 6 more bombs, two bomb carts on top of the boxes, evaporators. One of the new condition cards is fortified position, so now you have to bring your barricades.
You have to have the barricade.
Have to have your
well,
barricade.
assuming you're building your deck like that.
Right.
Yeah.
So there is. I did the quick math. I counted about 36 pieces of plastic that you have to bring just purely for objectives before your army. If you're bringing everything, now of course, if you're going to an event,
you can fine tune those a little bit.
You can prune out the stuff you're not bringing.
Yeah.
And if you happen not to be blue player, then if your opponent has something different, trust that your opponent has brought their supplies, which they're supposed to. If it's a competitive event, they would have brought everything. So, but if you're going to your local game night, your friendly game night, and you just want to bring everything with you, you're bringing a lot of objective pieces now.
Yeah, it kind of snuck up on me. I didn't even think about it till you pointed out. I was like, holy crap, that is a lot of stuff.
There's literally 11 individual crates between this and priority supplies now.
I mean, I guess you could do some double duty between them and just have like
unless
crates unless you pull
unless you pull recover supplies and supply drop, which I saw an Invader game of that.
Just kind of boxes everywhere.
Boxes everywhere. I like to call it the UPS truck crash.
The Amazon, the Amazon van just exploded in the corner. We got terrain ideas for you, John.
Well, I suppose you probably just make one tray set aside for only your objective stuff. But you're right. When you're transporting stuff for a tournament or something, that's probably an extra shipment or extra thing you don't have to be responsible for.
Yeah, I was just thinking back to like my LVO tray setup, moving between tables. It was like a small group of dudes, a tank and ATST, and then I had a couple of objectives, not too many, but it would definitely be a lot bigger this year. And that almost doubled the amount of like little plastic pieces to bring. But I mean, it's cool though. I'm not saying this in a bad way. It's just something to consider, because it's very nice having actual physical objectives that represent the object they're supposed to be, and you can tell at a glance what they are. Don't think we're coming down on them as this is dumb. No, it's not. It's just kind of surprising.
Yeah, and there's a couple objective pieces that still haven't had things produced for them, like mines, although you can pick some up at 6+.
we should charge him for a commercial time, I guess.
And of course, other generic things like key positions, objective markers as well. So there's potential there for just piles of plastic for objectives.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's fun. Though someone like myself, I run all my army in an ammo box, and I'm actually very tight on space right now.
Yeah, you might need to get like some 50 cal ammo boxes or something. Move up from the 5.56. Yeah. But anyways, any other final notes on AATs, items, or Cassians, or supplies?
I definitely want to get a hostage game in yet. I haven't got one in yet, and
we'll need to schedule that. Yeah, you're invited to the hostage game, John.
Am I the hostage?
Probably, yeah.
You're invited to the hostage.
Yeah, this is the adult we captured on the Jedi Hidden Temple run. So, if you ever want to see your parents again, you pituitary freak.
But then, I mean, we just have some Patreon.
Yeah, Patreon news. So it's all out there. We finally got them all out, including the international. We did not expect to spend as much on shipping those dice as we did. But anyways, they're on the way, so I hope you guys enjoy them. If anybody that was expecting a Patreon reward and doesn't get one within a couple of weeks, especially overseas, give yourself like, I don't know, 4 or 6 weeks or something like that. It can take a little while. We had some Australians in there and Canadians and Britaners, Englanders, English. Yeah, I think that's what they're called.
Yes.
But thank you again, everybody, for the rewards. We actually stuck in the next some of the corner
deployment markers.
Thank you. That was the word.
Another piece of plastic to bring.
Yeah. So we combined shipment because it was so late getting those out based on world circumstances. But thank you again to everybody that's on there. But I think that's pretty much it. Yep. John, Dude, thank you so much for coming out.
Oh, hey, thanks for hosting me.
Oh, man.
I had a blast coming in here, watching you guys play, and chatting about the old game. We'll see when I get back into it. 'Cause I'm
Yeah,
sure,
we're gonna get you kicking and screaming, throwing you into the carbonite freeze.
you know how I am. I'm ADD. I'll be
That's
back
true.
in another game. Give me 2 months, I'll find another game. Probably
Yeah.
back to this one.
Yeah, but thanks again, Dan. Otherwise, we'll catch you next time, Outriders. Take care.
This concludes the current episode of the Legion Outriders podcast. You may cultivate a tactical advantage by observing the Outriders on Facebook or Twitter at Legion Outriders. Wisdom advocates subscribing to the podcast. Acting otherwise is reckless.